Greetings, I believed that 12 years of marriage held significance, but upon her return from a business trip, my wife's joy was not for me, it was for another man. Furtive phone calls during my moments of privacy, along with the silver bracelet bearing an inscription for him, were mere indicators of the deception that awaited me. The revelation of a shared bank account and Miami apartment plans was only the beginning when I discovered her betrayal, which had been meticulously planned over several months. I realized it wasn't my wife I was losing, but pursuing escape from a skilled manipulator who had orchestrated this departure without me seeing it coming. My name is Brian Turner, 38 years old, employed in software development for a mid-sized tech firm in Seattle. Until 6 months ago, I believed I had a strong marriage. It all started on a Tuesday night in October as the rain pounded against our windows at 11:45 p.m. while I was engrossed in code on my laptop. Unexpectedly, Lauren arrived a day early from her 3-day trip to Portland, and I was taken aback when I heard a car pull into the driveway. Through the window, I saw her stepping out of an Uber, chuckling at something on her phone. Even at a distance, I could recognize her radiant smile that had been absent for months upon seeing my wife return from her journey, beaming almost luminescently as she carried her luggage to the front door. The door swung open, revealing her with slightly damp hair due to rain and flushed cheeks with excitement. She jumped a little upon spotting me in the dimly lit living room. "Brian, you startled me," she said, her voice higher than usual. "I thought you were already asleep. I returned home early, unbeknownst to you, as her last meeting was called off." She opted for the earlier flight, glancing back momentarily. By the way, our presentation was a resounding success, and Anderson almost assured us of securing the contract. I nodded, noticing her inability to part with her phone. "Thank you, dear," she said, her phone vibrating and her face brightening as she checked the screen, apologizing for work matters. Everyone is still astounded by how well it went, but late-night tech celebrations weren't Lauren's cup of tea. "You seem delighted," I remarked. She explained that it was likely due to a presentation she had given, possibly career-defining. Afterwards, she took her suitcase to our room and said she would quickly unpack and shower. I remained seated, feeling strange in my stomach, as she walked down the hall. Lauren has always been transparent about her work trips, uneventful meetings, and unremarkable hotel food. While interacting with clients, however, there was an unusual occurrence. She appeared weightless. I was on the verge of pursuing her, but from the bedroom came a faint, "Oh no," along with hurried movements that alarmed me. "It seems everything is fine." Next to her open luggage, pale-faced and trembling slightly, Lauren shoved something into the lower drawer of her dresser as I inquired. Upon looking up, she momentarily showed an expression I had never seen from my wife. I asked again, but all I received was a forced smile that didn't reach her eyes, revealing only that she was holding some important documents she wished to keep safe. She stood up, kissed me on the cheek, and went to take a shower after a long day. The bathroom door closed behind her, leaving me uneasy, staring at the dresser drawer. 12 years of marriage have made me wise enough to sense that Lauren was concealing something. For the first time in our relationship, I felt apprehensive about uncovering what it might be. That night, I couldn't sleep, as Lauren's peculiar behavior kept playing over and over in my mind around 2 a.m. The sound of the shower ceasing and soft footfalls announced Lauren's arrival in bed beside you. We feigned slumber. Her lavender-scented body wash permeated the room, but beneath it lurked another aroma, a cologne that wasn't mine. By morning, Lauren had left for work, her side of the bed chillingly vacant, a phone message informing me she had an early meeting, impeccably timed. Approached her dresser, my hands trembling slightly. I hesitated before opening the bottom drawer, overwhelmed by guilt as I recalled 12 years of never snooping. Yet, last night's look in her eyes had been ominous, hinting at something seriously amiss. Beneath a stack of winter sweaters, my fingers encountered a small velvet box, larger than usual, containing a costly silver bracelet and a t-shirt with the words, "Forever begins now." This wasn't an item I recognized, and my stomach plummeted. A handwritten note lay beneath the box, on hotel stationery, detailing plans for a trip to Miami next month, just the two of them for 3 days. Though unsigned, it was unmistakably Lauren's writing, with its unique smoothness. I sat on the bed, clutching the incriminating evidence, realizing this wasn't about work. It was about something far more personal. With a heavy heart, I rearranged everything to appear untouched. Then, for the first time ever, I checked Lauren's iPad, which had been charging on our nightstand. Her iCloud messages automatically synced, revealing Tyler pages of intimate lyrics and loving messages filled the screen, along with heart emojis and nighttime photos. I couldn't bring myself to open them fully, but knew they spoke volumes. They had been communicating for months, with their last message exchanged just the previous night. Her response, devoid of any hint of guilt, read, "I didn't guess he ever noticed anything." Feeling physically ill from the revelation, I considered my next move. 12 years of marriage, and she thought me too stupid to notice her affair. She was right until I snapped a picture as proof and replaced everything. My mind raced for more information, but I also needed to be cautious. If I confronted her now, she would only deny everything. That day marked the beginning of a series of events that would forever change our lives. A recommended private detective named Victor, specializing in delicate household matters, had an office downtown where we scheduled a meeting to uncover the truth about Tyler and the extent of his deceit. Situated in an older brick building within the city center, Victor's office appeared modest yet professional. The man himself embodied the stereotypical image of a mid-50s detective, with keen eyes that seemed to assess everything around him after I outlined my situation. Confirming an affair, he stated it matter-of-factually. Upon hearing this, I realized the necessity for certainty, to which Victor agreed, nodding sympathetically. People often believe they are careful, but they're usually mistaken, he warned. He requested Tyler's schedule, any details regarding shared accounts access, and any additional information available. A USB drive containing evidence I had gathered pictures, text messages was provided by me, which he took from his notebook. For the following 2 weeks, Lauren's work schedule and our phone records indicate a number she frequently calls, which I pointed out on the bill, beginning roughly 3 months ago. Victor whistled at the call durations, 60 minutes long during lunch breaks, clearly not work-related. He ran the number through the database, revealing it to be Tyler Reynolds, head of brand marketing at Stellar. Upon learning that Stellar was a client of Lauren's, my stomach sank. A standard CCTV package at Stellar costs $2,500, Victor added on. For 2 days, I monitored their movements, recording any interactions and gathering photographic evidence if necessary. Living in a peculiar limbo, I continued my routine with Lauren, feigning affection, kissing her goodbye in the mornings, asking about her day. She appeared to accept this facade, even growing more affectionate, bringing home my favorite takeout and suggesting a trip for the weekend. Guilt was evident on her face, but I played along. One evening, while she massaged my shoulders, she commented on my distracted demeanor. I pretended to be engrossed in work on my laptop, but I was actually waiting for Victor's daily update. A lie about a tough project at work helped me maintain the charade. My phone buzzed with an incoming email, stating it was Victor taking a bathroom break. The email contained several photos of Lauren with an unknown man. When I entered a downtown boutique hotel, the timestamp corresponded to when she was supposed to be meeting clients. The final photo showed them kissing in the hotel elevator. My hand shook uncontrollably, nearly dropping my phone. The evidence provided an undeniable face to the man ruining my marriage. Taking a deep breath, I returned to the living room where Lauren was relaxed on the couch, engrossed in her phone. She asked casually without looking up, "Okay," to which I responded, miraculously maintaining a calm voice despite the turmoil inside me. The game wasn't over. I needed to know how far it had gone. The next morning, Lauren kissed me goodbye with minty fresh breath and promised dinner at our favorite restaurant that night. She requested a room for 7, adjusting my collar softly. Both of us have been overworked recently, she mentioned, needing time away. I subtly questioned if I still mattered in her life as her car exited the street. Without delay, I contacted Victor, expressing my need for more than just hotel photos. I sought details on how long this situation had existed and its gravity. Victor disclosed that someone had been tracking Reynolds. Careless actions on their part facilitated an extensive investigation. The individual in question was Tyler Reynolds, 36, a divorcee who joined the Star Company 8 months back, coinciding with an increase in Lauren's business trips. Their initial meeting outside work was traced at a conference in San Diego 5 months ago, but the damning evidence was found in the financial records. Victor uncovered a joint checking account opened 3 months prior, sharing both their names, Lauren and Tyler. Victor discovered an email from Lauren's personal account to a Miami real estate agent about viewing a waterfront property next month, seeking something modern within their budget, which was under discussion. Finding this triggered a sense of bottomlessness in him, as it was not just an affair, but an escape strategy. When Lauren canceled their dinner plans due to a client emergency, Victor found the excuse predictable. He confirmed she was with Tyler at his apartment and used the free evening to strategize, knowing that confronting her would lead to denials and untruths. To protect himself, he needed solid evidence first. His lawyer friend advised him to document everything and act swiftly, as joint accounts could be emptied without warning. He moved half of their savings into a new account, retaining some for protection. Lauren returned home smelling of wine and the same cologne, apologizing for canceling dinner. Victor feigned acceptance, knowing the Brighton account was now compromised. The following day, things seemed smaller at Victor's office, his arrival making everything feel constricted. He found Victor prepared with a folder and laptop, stating he wanted to ensure Victor was ready. This was beyond their initial thoughts, Victor said, showing him a series of photos of Lauren and Tyler in hotels, enjoying intimate dinners and hugging each other, typical signs of an affair. However, the most intriguing piece was a chain of emails between Lauren and Tyler, dated just that day. Brian is unaware of what Lauren wrote about Miami. I'll inform him that I have a week-long conference ahead and won't return until then, during which we will finalize an apartment deal for the next 3 months at most. Tyler's reply sent my blood racing. My move to Miami's office is set. Regarding your financial exit strategy, Lauren is working on it, transferring modest amounts weekly. The account is thriving, yet he never glances at the reports. I felt utterly unwell, for it wasn't just infidelity. She systematically dismantled our life, laying the groundwork for hers. Victor revealed more, quietly producing a legal document, mentioning they had been meeting with a realtor in Miami. A pre-approval for a mortgage in their names, the document left me reeling, as I realized she left me. Victor nodded gravely, confirming that their planning had been ongoing for at least 3 months, hinting at a Miami trip next month. It's not simply an escape, they are concluding their plans. Upon reflection of our assets, I inquired fearfully she emptied my accounts without my knowledge, moving approximately $40,000 from our joint accounts over the last few months. Last year's purchase of the new car under her name, along with the investment account opened for tax purposes, culminated in Victor playing a reservation confirmation from a Miami restaurant for us next month. Clear and perfect was Lauren's voice on the audio. Our first formal dinner as a couple in our new city. No more secrets. Stunned silence was my response as Victor outlined my confrontation options: divorce, legal safeguarding of shared assets, while thoughts of our 12-year marriage flooded my mind, realizing I never truly knew her. The following week felt like a surreal twilight zone, performing daily routines and preparing for his eventual breakdown. Every genuine smile, every casual touch now seemed another painful blow as she carried on playing the loving wife. As the days dwindled before my departure, I sought counsel from a divorce attorney, a woman named Diana with keen eyes and expertise in financial fraud cases. Upon reviewing Victor's testimony, she confirmed my suspicions, stating that this was textbook for her. Months, possibly longer, she had been plotting this. She warned me. We needed to act swiftly to safeguard your remaining assets. I signed documents granting Diana the power to freeze our joint accounts if required. I have compiled all necessary documentation: bank statements, property records, retirement funds. What about confronting her? I inquired. Diana's countenance grew cautious. It was my choice, she said, but strategically, We would be in a stronger position if she remained oblivious to my intentions until the financial aspects were secured. I knew she was right, yet the idea of maintaining this facade at home was growing increasingly unbearable. Lauren amplified her actions, suggesting a weekend break for reconnection, experiencing intimacy after months, mentioning the prospect of beginning a family the following year, all while concealing plans to be in Miami with another man. Remarkably, Victor persisted with regular updates, only to discover that the Miami trip was already fully reserved. Lauren applied for work leave due to a conference. Meanwhile, Tyler listed his apartment for sale and arranged goods to be stored in a Florida warehouse. I carefully recorded my own work schedule, creating a digital record to confirm my office presence at crucial times. Diane advised caution since exposed spouses sometimes counter-accuse, prepare for any response she might make when people are under pressure. On Friday, Lauren declared that she had to stay late. Victor's message verified her meeting with Tyler in a city center hotel. I utilized solitude to finalize my resistance plan, securing Victor's records on multiple devices and rehearsing how to articulate her betrayal. Upon Lauren's return home past midnight, I let her rest, and she took a shower before retiring for the night, preparing herself for bed. Tomorrow, I intend to confront her. I stared at the ceiling, puzzling over how someone could convincingly deceive me, who was once loved, or maybe I was never truly loved by them for a long time. An unusual sense of fatigue accompanied Saturday's dawn. I barely slept, but strangely felt clear-headed today. Lauren seemed to meticulously construct her world during our morning conversation about an enjoyable breakfast, discussing a spa with her friend Melissa. Another lie was unveiled when Victor confirmed she had met with Tyler to finalize their plans in Miami. In the evening, I agreed to make a reservation at Bellini's 730, which sparked excitement in her eyes, suggesting our anniversary night. However, I felt we needed to discuss some important matters. I tactfully brought up these concerns, only for her face to display a flash of anxiety that rapidly replaced her usual practical smile. "Sounds great," she replied. Seeing her off, I transformed our dining room into what Diana had referred to as the evidence room. I arranged printed emails in order of their arrival. Hotel records showing questionable transactions. Pictures of Lauren and Tyler found within the hotels. Dining room table hosting evidence, a glass of scotch in my hand. Lauren, surprised at the door, her expression shifting from puzzlement to horror upon viewing the contents. Brian, her tone innocent, but a hint of unease in her voice. Documents spread out as if to implicate me. I pressed until she admitted whether she was going to continue draining our accounts, the color draining from her face. "I can explain. Tyler Reynolds could do it justice," I said, sliding over their joint photos and account details, confronting her with evidence of her deceit. "When you're going to tell me, Lauren, after your conference next month, or I'll come home to an empty house and divorce papers are not what she intended," but her voice lacked conviction. Victor's flawless audio file is gone, marking our first official dinner in our new city. "Brian, please refrain from deceit, Lauren. It's all over. Already, a lawyer has been consulted and the evidence of your financial mismanagement amounting to $40,000 is documented. I've safeguarded every asset you amassed, yet I couldn't help but feel the anger that surfaced in your tears. It was you who were exposed." For 12 years, I suppressed laughter at this revelation. Marketing, it didn't need to unfold as it did. I never intended to cause harm, but you meticulously planned for months. One night, I arranged for a hotel stay for you. "Pakui, what do you require?" "Castles will change tomorrow, Brian. We have to discuss this matter, yet we haven't." I moved up, and that evening, Lauren left. Her face was smeared with mascara, and her hastily packed suitcase trailed behind her. The house seemed emptier than anticipated, not just because she had departed, but because I realized our shared life felt vacant after a few months. The next morning, Diana contacted the joint investment account to find it frozen. She commented that this was beneficial for us as she reached out with 27 text messages and 14 missed calls. I responded evasively, suggesting she give it time, which she did for 2 days. Victor reported that Lauren had been deserted by Tyler. The ensuing scandal during that week obscured Diana's divorce proceedings on the grounds of marital infidelity and financial deception, with evidence to support both claims. Additionally, we filed an emergency court order regarding joint funds, which Lauren had been secretly diverting. Diana reminded me of Lauren, my colleague, who, upon noticing my tired appearance, immediately granted my request for direct contact with Lauren. The first email exchange between us contained her message. Tyler was just a fiction, but it evolved. I still have feelings for you. We need to talk. I never wanted this situation to occur. She wrote that Tyler was merely a figment of her imagination, but things developed. I still care about you, she added, implying that we needed to discuss our relationship. After a week apart, Lauren regained an advantage by appearing in our house, finding neighbors who had altered the property. She shouted from the porch, demanding entry when I didn't respond. She contacted mutual friends, portraying herself as a victim of my actions and unwarranted accusations. Fortunately, days passed. Tyler took a step I wasn't anticipating next. Lauren disclosed her family circumstances in a meticulously crafted email, claiming that our relationship had actually ended. She offered to provide information beneficial for the divorce process. Victor was not shocked to find the ship sinking. He was already searching for a lifeboat. Lauren informed Tyler that I was aware of their relationship and agreed to maintain a tranquil separation. When confronted with potential implications in the divorce proceedings, she revealed money she had transported as a fair share of our assets, prompting Tyler to side with her. I persisted on the bus, still breathing, functioning, advancing one foot after another, despite the lingering betrayal. Each passing day offered gradual healing and growing faith that I could free myself from more years of deceit. 3 months following the collision with Lauren, I found myself in Diana's office, confronted with evidence of her deceit. Lauren Judge. The uncovered hidden accounts, organized documents, and financial settlements suggested that I kept the house, my full pension, reclaimed funds that Lauren had misdirected. She retained her car, personal belongings, and the cold truth was clear. She was silent on the matter. Tyler departed a month ago, apparently when the charm of clandestine relationships built on deceit waned. Diana, with an understanding nod, agreed that such relationships rarely endure under sunlight. My temporary position in San Diego has evolved into a permanent one at my request. Seattle held too many memories, and the California office demanded a seasoned project manager. The seaside apartment I leased was smaller than my Seattle residence, yet it felt more than just a house compared to any other place I had dwelled in for years. On weekends, I initiated the process of sorting through remaining belongings from my marriage with Diana, hiring a moving company to pack and ship essential items. Everything else was either sold or given up, while I deliberated over books and kitchenware, deciding which pieces deserved a place in my new life. My phone rang less frequently, not because it lacked reasons to contact me, but as information you should know about Lauren's current activities. I silenced it without responding. Their drama was no longer my concern. Selling my Seattle house at a premium market price, I donated most furniture to aid victims of domestic violence. 6 months post-divorce, I intentionally kept my professional life detached, unwilling to confide in anyone. During a team celebration over a significant client win on the seashore, I had beer while eavesdropping on office gossip. An unfortunate incident occurred when a female colleague spilled her drink on me, causing her to become irate. In 2 days, we met for coffee after chance encounters in waiting rooms, and I discovered that Abigail, a marine biologist at a nearby research center, had never married and possessed an easy laugh. A year post-divorce, I found myself standing on my San Diego apartment balcony, watching the Pacific sunset shimmer in hues of gold and purple. The betrayal ended as confirmed by Tyler's testimony. Abigail moved to Chicago instead of Miami, working for a smaller company rather than the large one I had heard about. My career was thriving in San Diego. My team and I created a substantial software solution, which then led to a coffee date with Abigail. Dinner followed, then coastal hikes, and eventually we found ourselves in comfortable silence, engaged in profound discussions. We had both learned from past relationships over the course of a year. He admitted how unforeseen this journey was, and she smiled, her eyes understanding. 6 months into our relationship, I revealed the entire story of Lauren's betrayal. Abigail listened without judgment, then opened up about her own heartbreak. As the sun set beyond the horizon, my phone buzzed with an email notification, a message from Diana, sent by Lauren. I recognize that much time has elapsed since Lauren penned numerous therapy sessions, and now I comprehend how distressing it must have been for you. Although I understand that apologies cannot undo the past, I feel compelled to convey my sincere remorse for the pain inflicted. As I reread the words, I was taken aback by their absence. Abigail inquired, paying heed to my countenance. Yes, I replied, setting down the phone and refraining from responding to an email. It was during the night that Abigail slept beside me when I began contemplating the peculiar course life had taken, the betrayal serving as a catalyst for new opportunities in loss. What I considered essential, I learned, was honesty, self-respect, and the profound satisfaction of genuine communication. As I immersed myself in slumber, a remarkable revelation surfaced. I found myself truly grateful not for the betrayal, but for the stronger, resilient version of myself that emerged from its ashes. The individual transformed following Lauren's deceit emerged as truer, steadier, and eventually more competent at genuine closeness than the person prior. Occasionally, the severest conclusions result in the most enchanting. Farewell's origin can be kind.